Welcome to the MLS Show. It is me, Baz, here again for the news roundup. Everything that's happened in the last 7 days since I was last sit in this seat doing last week's news roundup. Let's begin with Portland Timbers goalkeeper Jake Gleeson. There's really nowhere else we could have begun. He was fantastic last week in Portland Timbers' 2-1 victory against Toronto FC. What a performance. The performance earned him MLS Player of the Week, and rightly so. Some of the saves, top drawer. I'm thinking of the one from Altidore. I'm thinking of the one from Will Johnson. Just fantastic display from Gleeson. This is a kid that has started in 2007 in an under-17 World Cup, looked excellent there. Had trials at Manchester United and Everton over here in the UK. Played in the USL. Went back into the USL in 2014 and played for Czech Republic, and got his chance last week due to an injury to Adam Kwasi, who's got a ligament injury in his finger, and has just turned in an absolutely brilliant display to help Portland over the line against Toronto. And it's going to be interesting when Kwasi's fit to see whether Caleb Porter decides to just go with Gleeson. If he continues to put in those kind of performances last week, why would you drop him? It's certainly going to be a interesting one, and one that we will be keeping our eye on here at the MLS Show. More transfer news. Chicago Fire have signed Carly Thiam. Paul Tenorio reported this a few weeks ago. I think I covered it on the news roundup then. He's a Senegalese midfield player, 22 years of age. Veljko Paunovic has talked about the dynamism of him, saying he's good in the air, a good aerial threat, and he will make Chicago Fire more competitive, not only within their team, but in MLS. And he's going to go in and strengthen that Chicago Fire side, they've looked better than they were last year, that's what I will say. But one player who they will welcome back, and I think he's going to be back this weekend, is David Accam. They have missed David Accam, Chicago. I think in that final third, he gives them so much. He gives them that pace, that directness. He scores goals, he creates goals, and he's an outball, he's a threat. And I think having Accam back will certainly strengthen them. They're a much better proposition when you've got Accam and Igbonanike up front. So I'm quite sure Chicago Fire fans are delighted to welcome back David Accam. And as far as Thiam is concerned, going to be, an interesting one to see just when they feel he's ready to make a bit of a difference. So to watch this space, but good signing it looks like on the whole of it. Loaned them from MTK Budapest, I think it is, in Hungary. So yeah, one we'll have to keep an eye on, but a double boost for Chicago Fire this week. A boost this time for Orlando City. It looks as though Captain Kaka is going to be back for this game. He has been nursing a thigh problem. He's missed 5 of Orlando's 8 games, I think it is, so far. And there's no doubt they're a much better side when he is in the team. And it looks like he's been training the last few days and will return against the New York Red Bulls. That will boost Orlando City. They've made a solid start to the season, most definitely. They look like a good side, but they look so much more threatening when Kakar is in there. I think Adrian needs played around with different things at the moment, trying to get that balance right. Obviously a difficult person to replace given his stature and how much space he creates for people. So they will welcome him back with open arms, and it will definitely improve Orlando City's chances of getting revenge over the Red Bulls. Okay, news this week. Testament evidence that soccer is growing in the United States. Cincinnati, FC Cincinnati, there's the lights going on. FC Cincinnati broke a record the other week when they got 20,400 odd for their USL game, and they are looking like they've smashed it again. It looks as though there's going to be around 25,000 for their game against the Pittsburgh Riverhound on May the 14th. Just they're incredible numbers for USL. And it just demonstrates how excited the people of Cincinnati are to get behind their soccer team. Definitely it looks as though they're chasing an MLS expansion slot. And with this fan base already in place for them, absolutely brilliant. Everything geared towards having a successful soccer side. When you're getting them kind of numbers already, who knows how far you can go as a club. It's fantastic, that demonstration, the fact that lots of the local community have taken that to heart. I was reading just bits and pieces about like around the university campus, people are getting into it, students are getting in. It's quite cool thing to do, go watch Cincinnati. Absolutely brilliant, a marvellous demonstration of the growth of soccer in the United States, and long may it continue. So well done, Cincinnati, fantastic effort, and long may that continue. Okay, Copa America talk. 48 MLS players have been named in the rosters for the Copa America in the summer. 3 notable absences: Brek, Benny Feilhaber, and Fabian Castillo. Castillo, okay, listen, I think he's a fantastic player. Absolutely love watching him. I think he's brilliant for Dallas. Potentially, Colombia have players who are as good as him. Not sure. So I'm not really going to go over the ins and outs of Castillo's exclusion for the Copa America. I thought he would have been in it. I thought he would have been at least in the squad. Fair enough, he's not. But I want to take issue with Brek and Benny Feilhaber. How is Brek not in the squad? He's a player that can play left back. He can play left side of midfield. He can even probably play on the right side of midfield, cutting in. He's very athletic. I think he's excellent for Orlando City. He's got a good skill set. He's athletic. He's everything you'd want in a squad player. And he's done okay for the States when he's played. For the USMNT. Amazed that he's not in there. And Benny Feilhaber, why wouldn't you have him in? He's such a quality footballer. Maybe Jurgen just doesn't like him, obviously. But for me, they're 2 glaring omissions for the United States. I think both of them personally should have been in there. JK strikes again. So no Castillo, no Brek, no Feilhaber. Good news, of course, for Dallas. Good news for Orlando City. And good news for Sporting Kansas City. Kaká also not in the Brazil roster, so good news, double boost for Orlando City there. But shame on you, Mr. Klinsmann. Okay, I just said shame on you, Mr. Klinsmann, for the omission of Brek and Benny Feilhaber. But one player who has been included, and it's not really a surprise to anyone who watches this now, and Mr. Klinsmann should be applauded for this, I guess, is Christian Pulisic, the young 17-year-old United States midfielder currently plying his trade for Borussia Dortmund. He is on there. He scored a couple of goals in Bundesliga in the last couple of weeks. He played for the under-19s Borussia Dortmund side that clinched their title this week, and he scored an absolutely brilliant wonder goal. It was a fantastic goal, couple of given goals, and then a lovely little chip over the goalkeeper into the far corner. And he celebrated with the Aubameyang Mkhitaryan dodgy little silly shimmy of a dance. Yeah, Christian, you've tried a dab. You've done you didn't know what to do. Now you're giving it all that. Just choose a celebration and stick with it. Do it. Try that one. Just do the Dele Alli. Works for everyone. But good to see that Pulisic is in that squad. So it'll be interesting to see whether he actually gets any game time. Okay, a little bit of transfer news this week. Crystal Palace, West Ham, are reportedly keeping tabs on Portland Timber striker Fernando Adi. Big target man, of course. Who knows? He looks like a Crystal Palace player, a big, strong, centre forward, a focal point, someone who can get goals, get on the end of things. The West Ham bit, I'm not really buying. I've seen that link twice now. I've seen it today. I think they're looking to spend big money this summer. I don't see them doing that with Addy, but I think the Crystal Palace shout could be a good fit. I think he could. I think he could probably do a job in the Premier League. But you wouldn't know, you wouldn't know. I mean, Kai Kamara had a little spell over here for Norwich City, scored 1 goal against Everton. He scored 1 goal, and you would have thought he would do really well. He scored 26 or something last season in MLS. But be interesting to see. Addy, a big physical target man, I think he'd do okay over here. But whether or not that's just rumours or whether anything will actually come to fruition over it, we will have to keep watching this space. Okay, the final bit of news this week is a link-up between Orlando City and Stoke City. Mr. Phil Rawlins, the founder, of course, of Orlando City, used to be a Stoke City director. There's links between the two clubs. Brek is a player who has played for both clubs. And it gives the opportunity for Stoke to have a presence in the United States. It gives Orlando City the opportunity to have a presence in the United Kingdom. It will enable Orlando City to take some Stoke players on loan, whether they be coming out of the 18s or the 21s at Stoke, or whether it's first team players who've been frozen out. Quite sure there's the opportunity for movement there. And there's also the opportunity of movement the other way. You look at, I hope not, but, someone like Kyle Larin, Mark Hughes might fancy taking him to Stoke City, and you would think it makes it a little bit easier if there's a tie in there. It's certainly a win-win-win for those two clubs. I'm a little bit miffed with Phil Laddie. He didn't try to do it with Everton just to keep me happy. But no, on the serious side, it's really a good fit and a good opportunity for both of them, to get players from each other, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So, that's been announced today, the link up, the partnership between Stoke City and Orlando City. I think they've had one before, but that interest and that partnership has been rekindled between the two clubs. So there you have it. That's all the news we're going to do this week. I'm hoping it's a little bit shorter than last week. Last week I just went on and on and on for about half an hour. Anything I should be talking about, let me know in the comment section below. I will be talking about Toronto's BMO Field in next week's news roundup. I was going to do it today, but I haven't. But I will do it next week. They play their first game, of course, against FC Dallas there this week under the new roofing system, so we'll see how that goes. I can watch it and then I can talk about how good it was. The best bit, not the best bit, but an interesting little bit of news about BMO Field is they've actually got a pulley that assists the fans when they are doing a tifo. How good is that? Let's see if there's any boss tifos this weekend. Don't forget to give us a subscribe to the MLS Show. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at the MLS Show. I promise you, I say this every week, I will get hold of Ped and the other lads and get some studio stuff done. I promise you, as we go forward. Thanks for supporting us. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep spreading the word. And I'm going to leave you with our stat pack, league tables, upcoming fixtures and all of that. And I'll catch you next time on the MLS Show. To help, Portland over the line against Toronto. And it's going to be interesting when Kwasi's fit to see whether Caleb Porter decides to just go with Gleeson. If he continues to put in those kind of performances last week, why would you? Welcome to the MLS Show. It is me, Baz, here again for the news roundup. Everything that's happened in the last 7 days since I was last sit in this seat doing last week's news roundup. Let's begin with Portland Timbers goalkeeper Jake Gleeson. There's really nowhere else than the one from Will Johnson. Just fantastic display from Gleeson. This is a kid that has started in 2007 in an under-17 World Cup, looked excellent there. Had trials at Manchester United and Everton over here in the UK. Played in the USL. went back into the USL in 2014 and played for Czech Republic, and got his chance last week due to an injury to Adam Kwasi, who's got a ligament injury in his finger and has just turned in an absolutely brilliant display to as we could have begun. He was fantastic last week in Portland Timbers' 2-1 victory against Toronto FC. What a performance. The performance earned him MLS Player of the Week, and rightly so. Some of the saves, top drawer. I'm thinking of the one from Altidore. I'm thinking